Hey loves, you're officially tuned into Friendsgiving, a series on friendship, brought to you by Septembre Love. Hope you enjoy. Welcome back to my channel. I'm always yelling. I have Deidre back with me again today.
Hi y'all.
And we're here to talk about something a little bit interesting, about friendships. But I wanted to kind of focus on adult friendships and what it is to have friendships in your adult life, like making new friends and what that looks like and why people are sometimes reluctant or not so reluctant. We became friends 4 years ago.
Yeah, it feels like much longer, but it's only 4 years.
It does. Do you want to tell the story?
I guess I'll tell my perspective.
Okay.
I think we met, so we worked at the same school.
Yeah.
And before I actually officially started working there, I was supplying. And she was the young hip teacher. On the lower half, she was teaching grade 3 at the time, and I was like, I was like, oh, hey, hi, my name is Deidre, da da da. And then she's kind of a little awkward. I won't lie. She's like, oh, hey, honestly, if you need anything, just find me.
Stop.
And I was like, oh, okay.
All right.
I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll find you. Yo. And then I did end up getting hired, and literally we're attached at the hip. Mm-hmm. At the hip.
Yeah.
Our rooms were next to each other, and it was madness. I don't think we should have done that. It was just
no. It was so much fun.
Foolishness all the time. I lied. That wasn't the beginning.
No,
that wasn't the beginning.
Hamilton
was the beginning. You guys have to go to Hamilton to do the training, whatever. And they're like, oh, they did mention to me that Shanice was gonna be there. I was like, okay, cool. I met her once before. She seemed like a nice person, and it should be a good time. But literally, little did I know that attached at the hip. I feel like her and I are the same person. We did another video, and I was looking back at it, and I'm like, why do I feel like I'm looking at myself?
Yeah.
This is weird.
Yeah.
And we didn't realize that until we were in Hamilton.
You're the same person. Okay, because I'm fine. But Dee and I are the same, but we're very different.
Yeah.
Very different.
We're different in the sense that it's weird because even I remember our students would always ask who's older? So I'm 30.
Yeah.
I just buck 30. Whoa, talk 30 to me.
Hey.
And she's 28.
Yeah.
She's still a baby. But the kids would always be like, okay, no, Mr. Cards is definitely older.
Yeah.
Because I'm I can be very silly. I'm very outgoing and this and that. She's the same way, but I think when we're together, she calms down a little bit because I'm literally over the top. I
can't do it if both of us. It's just too much.
It is a lot. It's a lot. So I feel when we're together, because I'm so this all the time, she kind of
calms down.
Yeah. She's the calmer half of me, I feel.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. And people that know her for a long time.
I'm the more serious one.
Yes.
I'm definitely more serious.
I'm just girl, don't worry about it. She's but let's let's analyze this. I wonder, that's kind of, but I appreciate that. That's one thing I appreciate, because sometimes I feel I'm always on the go, and I'm always out there, I don't always take the time to stop and think and look at things. And she will be okay, Dee, did you see that? Did you observe that? Let's unpack this. I'm okay.
I'm always unpacking something.
Unpacking, always.
Yeah. Anyways, so we went to Hamilton together, and you're gonna be rooming with Deidre. I was a little bit
When they said that was weird. We're
I was oh, okay, because I don't really know her. I've seen her around, but I don't know her like that.
It's different if you see people on the road and then you're bunking with them. That's a very personal, intimate setting, right? It's
it was very different. So I was a little bit nervous, and I was okay, I don't know how this is gonna work, whatever.
So I
don't know if you guys have seen our previous video, but if you haven't seen it, please check it out. I'm gonna put it up here in a little card.
It will make sense as to what we're saying,
because when it comes to food, this is when we realize we're not good with food. But we also realize our difference in personality, because
she's a planner.
She's
a planner to the T's. And so Shanice and I obviously brought our money because we knew we were going to be up there for a week, and we didn't know what the food situation was going to be like. So we came prepared with our little pocket, our Vex money, prepared. So then, you know, the principal then says to us, okay, guys, like all of you get $100 for the week to sustain yourself for food. So it's like, okay, cool. Oh, I got $100.
Yeah.
Like, woo!
We felt nice. We're like,
We're
we're
rich.
our money?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, yeah, we felt nice.
Like, talk to me nice.
Yeah.
Like, we felt really good. Like, together we had 200.
Yeah.
We're balling.
Yeah.
So at this point, we're already comfortable with each
Yeah.
other. We're like, okay,
Yeah,
like
we're
whatever. We're gonna stay in the same room.
And that's when I found out she's not even Jamaican, like, back then. I was like, they're not Jamaican.
Yeah,
She's
but I was like
Asian.
literally like raised with
a lot of Jamaicans.
a lot of Jamaicans.
So she's like the things I say, she understands. Yeah.
I know. And probably a lot of people don't know that, so surprise.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, we're gonna go out and whatever. We're like, let's see what's around to eat.
Yeah.
We find this Chinese spot, like guys,
Yes.
popping. Like
So
it was
good.
so good. Like
So
good.
good.
Like the meat was just cooked. Like I'm actually hungry, so like
Yeah.
forgive me all.
Yeah.
But like
but eat after this, honey.
Yeah.
honey.
but like the food was so good with us. And I think we spent like
40?
Yeah,
think we're $40.
45. Yeah, about 40.
Yeah.
But that, okay, fine. So we spent 40. That means
Yeah.
like a 20 and funny, a 20 for your, like we're
Yeah.
still okay.
Yeah.
Then we're like, yo, let's go to Dollarama and get snacks, bro.
Because we had to study.
We have to study, so we need to study snacks. She's
Yes.
like, I'm like, yeah. We got chips, candy, water, chocolate, like you name it, we got
Yeah.
it. So at this point, like the first day, we dropped at least almost $60.
Yeah.
And we started with 200
Yeah.
collectively.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's when we realized we're very similar, because I'm like, we have to have study snacks. What if we're like up late and we want a little something to munch on? So yeah, so then we had that whole week, you know, we were studying or whatever. And then that's when we kind of realized there were different personalities, because I would come home, after the day. I'm like, hey D, let's get right to our work. Let's just freshen up and get to our work. She's like, let's watch a movie. Let's just let's just lounge. And I'm like, yo D, if we get this done now, we can chill all we want. But then we can't really chill if you're thinking about what you have to do. Like I'm like that, right?
She's definitely like that.
So
for sure.
But
it works because like if it was up to me, yo, 12 a.m.
Oh my god, I need to do the homework.
Yeah.
But she was like, okay, teacher, like
you tackle page 10 and 11. I'll tackle page 12 and 13. Yeah. Then we'll swap books. You write what I wrote, and then I'll write what you wrote, and then we'll be done. I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to do that, but like she's right. Yeah. But then
it worked because like even like when we were like actually working together, it was the same thing when it comes to report cards. I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna start. This girl like during the school years already like jotting her notes and like, okay,
I hate being overwhelmed.
Amanda did, and then me last minute. I'm like,
Shan, help me, please.
This is literally the truth. And then what we do when the report cards are done, what we do? We go to Jack Astor's.
Yeah.
Celebrate with food.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Sorry in advance. Sorry in advance. Listen.
So this is a private school. Report card time, because if you go to report cards at a certain time, you get a day off. Like you get your PD day. Or if you're not done, then you have to use that PD day to obviously do your report cards. So we wanted to have the day off. So we would make sure we work hard and get everything done. So if that meant stay at school like wee hours of the morning, we would stay there and get work done. Yeah. So we had like a school lunch there, right? So there's patties for the kids. There's patties, right? The kids have patties. They order the patties, and we would literally yam the patty box, okay? Because we're hungry. We're up in like 2, 3. We're so hungry. Our lunch is done.
And
our
guys,
snacks
you
are
would
done.
you'd think, okay? So not only are we wrong, we're wrong. Like we take full ownership. We were wrong.
Yeah.
But you'd think, okay, fine. We take one. Because, you know, whatever. It's a late night.
I'm like, how many do you want, Dean? 2 or 3?
So instead of us just take one. Because we're wrong. So that's already 2, my lad.
Yeah.
And bear in mind, they count it because they need to know, like,
okay, why are the patties going missing? It's us. But we never submitted that till now.
That's what I'm saying. It's like a
and then
profession.
every time the teacher would be like, because she was in charge of the patties.
I don't know why these patties are just going. They're missing. I know I counted 25 and there's now 15.
What? So we're sorry. We're saying
Yes.
this to like we're genuinely sorry, but like we're just bad. We're bad for each other.
We're both adults, right? And you don't typically make new friends in your adult life,
right?
Or if you do,
and if you do, you're very like kind of like
guarded.
Yes.
Yeah. And so we had a couple conversations where we talked about like guardedness, and even like our first week of hanging out, like our first week of like, because our first week becoming friends
was like very like intimate, like
very
we stayed in the same
room, right? To get along. We can talk about a lot of things too, about like best friends that we have, friendships that we have during that week, and like our experiences with friends and stuff like that, and the reluctancy we have with meeting new people or making new friends. Because I find that a lot of times when we're in our 20s or whatever, it's like, oh, I have my crew from like when I was 8.
Exactly.
And then you don't want to make new friends because you're afraid of, what are we afraid of?
I think I was afraid of being hurt, or like a lack of, because like all my friends, like typically all the friends that I have now, like I've known them for 16 plus years. So like meeting somebody new is just kind of like, oh, like I'm gonna have to start over. And like how do I know who you really are? Time hasn't shown me like the character of your like your character. So how can I trust you and like open up to you? So for me personally, I was reluctant in that sense. But like I feel like my relationship with Shen was like just so like organic, like and very, very natural. Like it wasn't forced. Like I didn't feel like she didn't make me feel uncomfortable. Like I literally felt like I've known her since I was like 5.
Yeah, because we clicked so well so fast. Like Dee was at my house, like sleeping over. Like, oh, I'm not gonna go back to my city tonight. Like I'm gonna stay at your place. Okay, cool. Like with my family, like my godchildren, like my god sisters, like in the mix. Literally like I was at her auntie's house for dinner. Like we clicked like right away. And there are times when like I honestly would have moments of like, or I would pull back because, and there were times she had to literally tell me like, you need to fix up because
like her biggest thing was like, she's like, oh, well, we're only going to be friends like while we're working here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why do you keep saying that? I'm like, I've showed you, like, I've literally invited you to my home, like in my space, a part of my world. Like, why would I like, you know what I mean? Why would I breach that if I just saw you as like a coworker friend? Because like, we have to like know how to differentiate the friends. Like let's be honest, right?
True.
There's some bridges to like, yo, we're good at work, and then as soon as you try out the door,
it's like hey, but like at work, that's your brethren.
Exactly.
But outside of that, it's not. But like we already established that outside of that, we're gonna be friends for real.
Exactly.
I think there's times when I would be like, yo, like I just feel like you're just gonna like dash me, or you're going to, and like bringing like issues from previous friendships and like fears from previous friendships into this one, and you think, oh, you guys are so dramatic and so deep. But I think the thing is like we need friends, and I think a lot of times in our 20s and when we get to adult age, we forget the value of true friendship, and we have a lot of friends that we keep just because of years,
history,
because of time, and they're not of any value to our lives. But there's also times when I feel like sometimes we're too rough, like we're so quick to give up. You know, we're so quick to let things go. And I know that there's even a moment where we had our first fight was like, you can tell how different we thought about friendships. When I fight with somebody or argue with somebody,
she's like, let's talk about this.
I'm like, let's talk about it. I'm not thinking,
oh, friendship is mash up, it's over, get out of here.
I'm not thinking that at all. I'm like, yo, we're arguing right now. Like, I still love you the same way. I still value you as a friend. Like, nothing shifts for me except that right now you're upsetting me.
And I think like maybe a part of like maybe I responded the way that I did to that conflict, which we'll talk about in a second, was maybe because I'm like, she already sees me as a work friend. So I'm like, okay, like why am I busting my head to try to like make this thing work if she already in her mind thinks that like I'm just temporary? So like what's the point? Back of my mind subconsciously, I'm like, okay, well, Shen already thinks that like this relationship's gonna end as soon as like we leave. So what's the point of me trying to work this out?
Right.
Mind you, I'm not a confrontational person. Like I'm not a confrontational person at all. So that's why like the way I handled this situation, like the conflict we had, I thought was like very interesting to me because that's not usually how I handle stuff. So I'll explain my perspective and then she'll explain hers. So watch a movie that day. So we'd made arrangements and stuff like that. She like, to me, I thought she was gonna come and tell me like, KD, like it's 2 whatever, like let's go upstairs and watch the movie. So I'm like, okay. So I'm sitting in my room, like doing my stuff with my kids, like getting them organized to go home because it was kind of like at the end of the day at that point. And then I seen Shen like literally like trot past my room. I'm like, yo, what's wrong with this girl? Like Like, literally, that was my face. I'm like, what's wrong with this chick? So I'm just like, okay, like, clearly she's upset, but I'm like, whatever. So I'm like, okay, guys, like, come on, pack up your stuff. So we go upstairs. I get my kids seated. They're sitting in the front and stuff like that. So she's in the back, and like, she's just not very good at hiding her emotions. Like, it's all on her face. So I'm like, okay, clearly she's upset, but I don't know what exactly she's upset about. Now, I think in hindsight, I could have handled this better. I don't regret like not approaching her, but like, I think I could have like done it in a different way or a different setting. So the kids are sitting down, she's in the back, like she's like typing on it, like aggressively typing on the computer. I'm like, what is wrong with this girl? So I go in the back. So I'm like, I asked her a question, and her response was like very short. So I looked at her again. I'm like, yo, are you good? Like, are you okay? Like, are you upset about something? And then she's like I think she was like so taken back that I even asked her. She was like,
because that's not like her.
Yeah, it's not like me at all. And she was like, huh? Like what? Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I was shocked.
And then I left whatever, like I left the where the kids were watching the movie, and I went to the washroom, and that next day we were supposed to actually do like a scavenger hunt.
Yes.
In my head, we're not doing no scavenger hunt. Like, I'm done with her. Like, I'll do my own scavenger hunt. But mind you, the school is this big.
Yeah.
Where are we doing the scavenger hunt? In a separate location. School was yes sir. Like, it was so stupid. But in my mind, I'm like, okay, whatever. So when the bell rang, I'm like, hey, went downstairs, got my stuff, whatever, da da da. And then just girls like still I'm like, oh, so she's really not gonna talk about the problem. I'm like, that.
Okay, that's your perspective.
I'm like, okay,
go ahead.
Okay.
So I'll go over this quickly. So she's right. We were supposed to watch a movie. We spoke about a time. Okay, according to my knowledge,
which I didn't remember.
She didn't remember. We spoke about a time. I said, Dee, bring your kids up at this time, right? Now, because her kids...
Oh, because you came back downstairs to look for me.
Yes. Okay. And I saw that they were still working, so I was like, yo.
Okay.
Because my kids can't start the movie without her kids up there. So we're sitting there like, twiddling our thumbs. So they're like, Miss, can we start now? I'm like, we have to wait for Miss D's class. So, and for me, it's like, yo, I don't have to tell you every second, like, yo, we're doing this. Yo, just you know the time. I'm like, yo, come on, pay attention to the time. I don't think she's on her phone at this. I don't know what she was doing.
Yeah, I don't even know.
I don't even know. But I was like, yo, I watched myself. I'm like, yo, these guys are still sitting down. I'm like, girl, this is stupid.
Yeah.
So I go upstairs. I'm upset because I'm like, I feel like I have, in my mind, this is how I was thinking. I'm like, I feel like I always have to lead a situation. I always have to take charge of a situation. Like, we talked about it. I told you the time. We agreed. It is well after the time, and we're upstairs waiting for you. So when I saw that, I was like, yo, I have to do, that's what I thought. I have to do everything all the time. Like, I have to just always just be the one to keep everyone on track, or else things are going to fall apart. That's how I was thinking in my mind, right? And I'm bringing, yes, past things to the present situation, because that's not what she was thinking at all. That's not what she was trying to do. But I felt like, yo, come on, like, you know. So I was annoyed. I asked you, are you guys coming upstairs? I think I did. Yeah.
I think that's also how I knew you were upset. Because like your body language said you were upset.
Yo.
But the question you asked me, I was like,
are you guys coming upstairs? Like, what's like, wagwan? Like, because we just spoke at lunch. At this time, it's like 2:00. So it's been a couple hours. So I'm like, how, like, you know, I'm not expecting her to forget. So she comes upstairs, and then she says something to me, and I'm like, no, or whatever. And she's like, are you good? Yeah. And I was like... In my head, I was like, who's this girl talking? Like, trying to reel up. Don't get deep in the chest with me. Yeah. Like, I was annoyed. I was like, and the kids are sitting right there. I'm like, I think I said, yeah, I'm fine, or whatever. I don't know what I said. And then, but even though I really wasn't, which I don't agree with doing, if you're not okay, say you're not okay. Yeah.
So, but it wasn't the time, though.
It wasn't.
That's why I'm saying, like, I think I was wrong for like coming and
because the kids are right there,
right.
So, anyways, school's over, and then she was talking to a parent, and I think you called me into the office, right? I'm not thinking in my head at all, that's not my friend anymore. That never crossed my mind. Scavenger hunt's still happening tomorrow.
I was done. You do your own scavenger hunt.
She was over everything. The kids' activities gonna be mashed up. Friendship are gonna be mashed up. Everything's done. I wasn't thinking that. I was like, okay, like right now this is annoying. Like we could possibly talk about it. But like, come on, like just pay. My thing was just pay attention. You know what I mean? That's how I was feeling. And I was like, I feel like I always have to lead things. Like, be a partner with me. Like, if we're gonna do this, like, let's do it together. She called me to the office, like, and we talked about it. And I was like, well, this is how I felt. Like, I felt like you were just weren't paying attention. I felt like I had to come downstairs and ask you. And then you came upstairs and you're being rude. And we're both being short with each other. But I feel like what my issue was the fact that I felt like she was like, okay, she needs to figure it out. She'll figure it out. Because that's if everyone does that to me. Oh, you'll figure it out. Oh, you'll do it. And it's like, yo, can someone work along? I don't have to calm down. Hey, it's ready. Like, because then it seems annoying. It's like, yo. Yeah. But we also realized that we look at things differently. Because I was not at one point thinking our friendship is over. That is why I had the apprehension I had, because I have so many people who are like that in my life, who are like, once an argument happens or disagreement happens, they're ready to be done. So that's why I said, yo, we're only going to be work friends, or this is only be temporary, because I've had experience with friends who I thought like, yeah, really, we're really cool friends. Yeah. And then one argument happens and it's like, it's the whole thing's mashed up. I'm like, yeah. Really, from one argument? Yeah. Even if it's 10. If someone's to me, it's your friend, it's your friend. Yeah. Like,
you're gonna rock
a relationship with somebody. You're going to have a bumpy road at times, and a lot of times people.
And if it is, and to me, in my opinion, I feel like if there isn't any conflicts, like, are you being genuine?
Yeah.
Like, are you really like being authentically yourself? Because like, let's be real. Like we said in the very beginning, we're the same, but we're different. Yeah. So maybe something she might do like that annoys me, or vice versa.
Yeah.
We're different people.
Yeah. Yeah. Like. That was where my fear came from, because when she said, and I had this fear before she even said this. She's like, yeah, like I was done with you, and I was like, that's what I'm talking about, and that is why I have a fear of building new friendships in my adult life, because I'm like, yo, people don't know how to argue and move on and say they're apart, say how they feel. They want to confront situations. They want to just leave things, let them be. That's not how I roll. So if I do something to upset you, I'm expecting you to tell me.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, you not saying how you really feel, or you being upset to the point where you want to end the friendship, it shows me that you don't care. I said, you bringing something to my attention shows me that you care, because you're taking the time to say, yo, this is what bothers me. Friendships are also just as important as any other relationship. She's very friendly. She makes friends very easily. I know as of late, your perspective has changed a little bit in terms of making new friends in your adult life.
Right. In a way, like we've kind of like switched roles. I think now she's a little bit more open to like, like I'm getting older, and like it's okay for me to meet new people and make new friends, and that's okay. Like not everyone is going to be like the friends of my past. Like so she's at that place. Whereas like now I'm kind of like, yo, like I have my tribe, like I'm good. Like I'm not really looking for extras. Like this is my core, these are my girls. And I think that's because I like recently like befriended someone, like the relationship was amazing. Like because that for me, I'm a type of person, when I love very hard. Yeah. And that's to a fault, but like I think on the good side, like if I say like you're my brethren, like I'm gonna ride for you. Like I'm gonna have your back. I'm gonna do the best that I can to make sure that make myself available to you, right? And I did this for this person, and like it turned out that like she was lying, and it really, really tore me, because I'm like, wow, like I was being my authentic, raw, genuine self, and this person saw it necessary to like take advantage of me, and that really, really hurt me. But to say like, let somebody into my immediate space as I'm at this age that I am at now, I think the answer for me is no. Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of times people, you have to know the season you're in. Do I think Dee's gonna be like this forever? No. I feel like she's going to because it's not natural for her. But I understand where she is right now. I would probably feel the same way, most likely. But I feel like a lot of times people ask questions along the lines of, you know, when to let go of friendships, or why would you bother having a new friendship when, you know, you're this and this age. And it's like, I just want to basically encourage you guys to shift your mindset around friendships. It's okay to have conflict and forgive and move on and talk and, you know, have restoration. It's okay to exercise that. It is okay to make new friends in your adult life. It's okay to have a friend for like a year, 2 years, and they're like this. That's okay too. Because even there are moments where we're like, are we best friends?
We
don't ever say that.
I remember that. I remember that.
Like, are we? Ooh, let's not say it. Like, because it's just a lot of, especially for girls. There's
a pressure.
There's a pressure. So girls are big on friends. Guys are like, yes, my man, blah blah blah.
But girls are like, that's my sisters. My love, my advice, my tribe, my crew.
We really value community like that, right? Sisterhood. A lot of times people ask questions like, when to let go of a friendship. I think if you feel like the friendship is no longer serving you, and you've had conversations,
not one but multiple
conversations about the things that are upsetting you, the things that are bothering you, and you still feel there's no resolve, and also giving the person time to change. Also checking yourself, are you being the friend that you want? Because a lot of times we have this,
oh, like, you're not serving my life, and you're not doing this for me, and you haven't come to my level,
and you're this and it's just this whole like very prideful, like, I'm up here, get with me.
I also feel like you also need to know your friends too.
Yes.
And kind of know where your friends are like struggling a little bit. Like we've had this conversation many a times, and I'm like, you know, like some of my friends aren't necessarily like the best communicators.
Yeah.
And I have to be okay with that and just know like, okay, like such and such is like not really like a good communicator, but I know like if anything, I could pick up the phone, say less, they're there. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like, I think sometimes we have the same expectations for all of our friends, and that's not realistic because they're all different people. Exactly.
They're literally just different people. We have this mindset that we have to, like, sometimes we're too serious. Yeah. We're too serious. If someone's bothering you, lighten up. Yeah. Lighten up. Enjoy friendships. Enjoy people. Yeah. Enjoy getting to know people. Yeah. If one of your friends bothers you, you say, hey, that bothered me. And it should be, your friendship should be a space where you can say how you feel. And that's only allowed if you allow the person to express themselves as well. Exactly. And you are willing to express yourself.
Judgmental way.
Have that open space. I think we're just too rigid sometimes. We're too closed off to building friendships and to working through things because we feel like, oh, but you're just a friend. Yeah. Friend's a very serious word.
Oh, for sure.
But I think if we use words like
it's
love,
so funny. It's funny because like
loosely, sorry.
It's funny because like when I was coming up, my mom's just like, you can't call everybody your friend.
Yeah.
Not everybody, and I'm like, can you relax?
Like, yo, Susan, my friend John, Peter, Paul.
Yeah. But it's a very serious word. But it's been watered down. So friend is like acquaintance. Yeah. Well, that's my friend from da-da-da. Yeah. It's really not your friend, but it's really an acquaintance. But we don't say that's my acquaintance from. Yeah. So friend has been, just in our culture, has been a word that's like watered down.
So then my question for you then is like, how then do, like, when you're having a conversation, do you differentiate between like your like friend, because you're a friend, you're my friend. But like, how do I differentiate between like a friend and a friend? Like, what would I say?
My close friend.
Like, you would say like my close friend?
Well, I would just say your name. Okay. You know what I mean? I don't think we have to like.
That is my good friend. Like, I just say
good. Like, hey, like, that's my friend, or that's Dee.
But if you say friend, I might feel like I'm just like.
See, that's what I'm saying. Friend has become this like, oh, you're just a friend. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you're my best friend.
It can't make me feel away, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm just her friend.
But the thing is, it's like, I know my relationship with her. And I think that's what it is too. Sometimes we get caught up in the whole like title thing of like friendship. Oh, my best friend, my close friend, my inner circle, my outer tribe. We get so technical. So we say that's my friend because Dee is my friend. Yeah. She's not my sister in the sense she's not blood related. She's not my cousin. Yeah. If we were to look at it on paper, she's actually just my friend. Yeah. But how my relationship with her, she feels like my sister. She feels like my cousin. We feel connected, right? But on paper, she's not kin to me.
No. I don't share her blood.
We don't share blood. But you know what I'm saying? But like, we have this whole term of like friend. It's like, whoa, I'm just your friend. You know what I mean? And I can understand that because if she's like, yeah, it's just like some girl. It sounds like you're saying, girl, that's some girl. You know what I mean? Like a thing. I'm not just some girl. I'm your girl. Like, I'm your girl. We rather die. Like, that's how we get when we hear about friendships, whatever. But
titles are big for us.
Yes.
Titles are big for people. Like, our generation. Say that, you're right. Yeah. And I think that's kind of why we didn't want to be like, oh, like, we're best friends, because I feel like as soon as you say that, there's like this like standard that you have to like live up to and like whatever, and we just kind of like, we're like, okay, like, let's not even cross that. Yeah, like we know what it is.
We know our value to each other. We know how we feel about each other. Yeah, I care about you so much. Like we've been through, and the things, in the short time we've been friends,
through a lot. Like a lot.
Like literally cry through, pray through, like we went through a lot. Just being there for each other in different transitions in our lives. So so at time doesn't really give you the value of a friend. No, it's really character. It's
say that again. Tell it. Time doesn't
give you the value of a friend, honey.
It's their character. Yeah. So I want you guys to really think about the kind of friend you are. You think someone's not serving you? Are you serving them? You know, are you doing all that you can? Are you having the conversations you need to have, whether they're uncomfortable or not? How are you dealing with the conflict? Did someone say something to you, just keeping it inside, you're like, whatever, and then you see them give them attitude, like, and there's always this awkward tension. Like, just talk out your stuff. Yeah. Talk out your stuff. Don't be petty about anything, because if you really love somebody, you shouldn't be petty with them. Yeah. To be honest, you're not trying to hurt them.
It's true.
I'm just telling you how I feel because I love you and I care about this relationship that we have. And if someone is really hurting you and really betraying you, you have to think, they're not valuing me. After I've had the conversations, I've talked to them, it's still not getting there, then maybe we can move on.
And also, like, I want to say that, like, it's also okay to grieve the loss of a friendship. Like,
Yes.
sometimes I think that we kind of, like, forget.
Come on, friend. You gotta let them know, honey. Let them know stomp on these hoes.
Like, we have to, like, oh, well, if that friendship's over, like, I'm done.
Yeah.
And walk away. It's okay for you to, like, sit in that. And like acknowledge that, okay, wow,
I'm
like,
sad.
I'm sad.
My friend.
The friendship is over. We had shared a lot of great memories with each other.
Yeah.
Process that, and then move on.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It's not a hate thing.
No.
It's not a, oh well, she did da. Forgive that person or whatever the situation may have been, and then just move on. Allow yourself to actually grieve the loss of that friendship because it meant something to you.
Yeah. Another thing too is like not being afraid to rekindle friendships. So friendships that have gone through like ups and downs. I have a friend, we didn't talk for 2 years. Don't know why, we just didn't talk for 2 years. It was, we were getting prepared for our mutual friend's wedding. And that's how we reconnected again. And we caught right back in like as if it was nothing. But it was crazy because in that time I didn't stop calling her my friend. I just knew like right now we just don't really talk
to each
that
other,
much.
Yeah.
I don't know why. But it was still my friend. In my heart, it was still my friend. And some of the people will say like, oh, I don't want to talk to her because where was she the past 2 years? But where were you the past 2? You weren't there either. Like, you were. I hear when people just do that.
Where you.
What about you here? Like, what about yourself? Like, yeah, I'm not gonna talk to you because past 2 years.
But that's where the growth starts.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
Can't you love me? Can I be deep too? Like. Can I have a moment? I just want to say.
What's she gonna say?
I am extraordinarily privileged to know this young woman.
Oh gosh.
I'm giving her a shout out because, like she said, like we have literally gone through a lot. But like I've met someone who literally lifts me up spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically. Like, well. I mean, not physically. Not the physical. Yeah, not the physical.
Because if she wants to yam fries, we're namming fries.
We're eating fries all day.
All day, honey.
But, like, this is my sister. Period. Like, period, point blank. Yeah, she's my sister. So I'm not going to say much because, you know, I'm the emotional one and I don't want to cry. And, yeah.
I'm going to cry. I love you, Dee. Yeah. Honestly, yeah. I really, really, really do appreciate you. And I really value the sisterhood that we have.
Not a real one.
Hey,
you guys dumb, stupid, crazy.
But anyways, guys, we are going to stop right here. Please head over to my blog after this, septembredelove.wordpress.com. Follow me on Instagram at septembredelove. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Love you all. Bye.
Bye.